Y'all, it's Chris and Tammy. Let me go get me a bowl right here so that I can throw my scraps in here for the chickens. We are making fried fish tonight, and I am going to make a little bit of slaw and some hush puppies to go with it. We have, we just microwaved us a potato in the microwave. So we're going to have a good supper. We got some garden tomatoes too. So those will be good. I want to throw those in the slaw. I know some of y'all probably hadn't done that before, but that's one of my favorite ways to eat it. So, I mean, it's not going to take the hush puppies and fish long. So we're going to mix up the slaw right quick. And then I guess we'll mix up the hush puppies and let them sit a minute and turn the oil on while I make this slaw. Okay. So the hush puppies are a cup of self-rising cornmeal mix, okay, an egg. They're super easy. Super easy. That's one reason why I have no idea why restaurants mix these things up and serve them the next day, and it makes them dense and not very good because it only takes a second to mix up a hush puppy. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? So, onion. And we're going to throw a few of these diced jalapenos in there. Of course, that is optional, but it really does give them a good flavor. If you don't like hot stuff, these aren't real hot. Just use a little bit of the juice in them just to give it some flavor, some good flavor. Okay, so there's our jalapenos. And we are going to add buttermilk until it's mixed up and put together good, pretty much. That's what I tell you to do.
And you want to do it beforehand because they'll kind of rise up a little bit.
That's true. Yes. That's why I went ahead and mixed these up while we're making our slaw. And that way they'll kind of puff up a little bit before we cook them. And while they puff up, we're going to make some slaw. Y'all, all I'm going to do for my fish is season it and put some cornmeal on it, and that's it. Flounder is the best fish to me in the world. It's my favorite. So let me turn this on and let it start getting hot a little bit. And we're going to mix up the slaw, and then as soon as we get the slaw mixed up, I'm going to need one more bowl. Mm-hmm. I know. I got that one out for, I was thinking I was going to use it to batter my fish, and this one, I got to have another one. So I'm going to put some cornmeal mix in this just for my fish. Get battered in right here. I'm going to set it by the stove. And now all we're going to do is make some slaw. Super simple supper, fast too. It's going to come together real fast.
We got a lot of first-time viewers tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, hey, y'all, it's Chris and Tammy.
Let us know if you're first time.
Yeah. Now, I typically use a grater to do my cabbage. Y'all know me well enough to know, if you've been on here for a while, that I've never done it this way. But I was chopping this up for the chickens the other day, and I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to make my slaw with it the next time. And so that's one reason I decided to use it tonight. So I gotta chop up those outer leaves for the chickens anyway, and I'll have to wash it. And this is real simple to wash and use. So I'm gonna make my slaw with it. Should be simple and quick.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. And you definitely want to take cabbage when you're making slaw, even if you buy it already. For some reason, if you buy it already shredded, shred it some more and something like this, because it really brings out the juices of the cabbage and the flavor. you're not going to get a really delicious slaw unless you shred some. Well,
mess up your transmission?
yes. What did I do?
I don't know.
It's refusing. Uh-oh.
Well, you got too much in there. Or
I
you
don't
got it
know.
wedged in or something.
Weird. Never had that happen.
Hey.
This time I'm going to go a little bit longer and get this one real juicy and small. Juicy and small. We just got a little bit left. Simple dimple. And then that cabbage, those cabbage leaves I've got over there in the sink, I will chop up and take out to the chickens. I always chop their stuff. I'm a good mama. We got some baby chickens out there. Well, they're not babies anymore. They're like teenagers now. And it is so fun to watch them. We so enjoy our chickens. When I was a kid, chickens were my favorite animal on our farm growing up. I spent more time watching them chickens than just about doing anything. This time of year, I spent a lot of time looking. Well, it's not quite time yet, but I'd still look to see where they're going to be. I'd look for the blackberries. You could find wild strawberries growing on the side of our pasture hill. And so I spent my time when I was young finding wild plums, finding wild strawberries, finding wild blackberries. Y'all probably did that too if y'all grew up out in the middle of nowhere like I did. All right, let's see. I want to put a little bit of tomato in here. This is my ripest tomato. I got some bacon out to have a good BLT now that we've got some tomatoes out of the garden. But tonight, I'm just going to cut about half of one of these and put in my slaw. Now, my mama used to do this to make it pretty. And she would also do tomatoes in our potato salad to make it pretty. And it really does make it pretty. And whoops, it's delicious as well.
Tomato knife.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess up another knife. So I'm like, I'll use what I got out. Mm-hmm. So it makes it pretty and it's good, especially when it's a garden tomato like this, because they have so much more flavor in them than these store-bought ones. All right, we're going to put that in last. We're going to mix up our mayonnaise first. I need to get to work. You didn't get me out any mayonnaise, did you, Chris?
No, I didn't get out mayonnaise.
I don't think I've got hardly any in this thing. I need a new thing of mayonnaise.
You want me to cut this down a little bit?
Put it on low, I guess.
Until we...
For now.
Okay.
You think it's getting hot?
I'm sure it is. It's been on there a little bit.
All right, all I put in my slaw is, oh, for heaven's sakes, is mayonnaise, salt, and pepper. And you could put a little pickle juice in it. It's according to what kind of mood I'm in, whether or not I put pickles in my slaw. Tonight, I am not, because we're having fish, and I don't want pickles in it. Now, it's totally up to you what you put in your slaw. But tonight, we're going to use mayonnaise, salt, and pepper. If you're just tuning in, y'all, this is Tammy and Chris with Collard Valley Cooks coming out of Georgia. And we are making some fried flounder that Chris caught just a few days ago. I think Sunday. You called them Sunday, didn't you?
Yeah, I caught those Sunday.
And
well, I only caught one flounder, but yeah, Sunday.
Well, what am I frying up?
flounder, and then there's a piece of speckled trout too.
Oh, okay. I love trout too. Ooh, well, for heaven's sakes, why don't I just make a mess? I can.
You can.
Now that tomato's going to add just a little bit of juice to this as well. And I try not to put too much mayonnaise in my slaw. If you just keep mixing and mixing, you can get it pretty mixed up.
Now, Happy, you know you don't like
Cabbage.
She's down there trying to eat cabbage.
Oh, they do
Starving.
anything they think they're not supposed to do. All right, let me get this off the counter. Just made a mess. Now, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I don't like this as good as my grated cabbage. The texture of it's different. You know, you never know unless you try something. I just usually use a box grater. Typically is what I use, y'all, a box grater. Now we're going to mix in the tomato. If you never had a tomato in coleslaw, whoo, you got a garden tomato, let me tell you, it's good, good, good. And this is a garden tomato because we're down here in the South. We're already getting some red tomatoes. All right, there's our slaw for our fish. Looks delicious. Simple, easy, fast supper. Simple, easy, fast supper. And wish I had some sweet tea. Maybe I'll make some while we're frying up our stuff. All right. We done it, y'all. We done it. We might as well clean a little bit as we go. All right, let's turn up this grease and get to frying something. Now for the fun part, the fried food. Right, Chris?
That's what everybody
We're going to drop
wants.
the hush puppies first. Let me see how hot this grease is. I'm sure I'm going to need to turn it up. Yeah. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. I'm going to wait just a second because I don't want these greasy. All right, it's ready. Good enough. So I'm just going to drop them in. Now, y'all, this makes a lot of batter. Of course, it's too much for me and Chris. So you can refrigerate it and cook it like them restaurants do. It won't be as good the second day, but or you could just go ahead and fry them and then just heat them up in your air fryer or in the oven on a tray. It would probably be better to do it that way, to tell you the truth, because then at least it'd still be fluffy. If you ever get a dense hush puppy, it's because they have mixed up the hush puppies a day or two prior to making them. Because when you make hush puppies fresh, buddy, they are light.
They're the bomb.
They are delicious.
You'll be at the restaurant, you can only make maybe one or two. And these right here, you just you have to stop yourself from eating them. That's anything.
I'm going to fill her up. Gas tank.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to tell them something, and I lost my train of thought when you started talking. Anyway, hush puppies are good, and they're better when you make them.
They're real light.
All right, I'm going to turn
Fluffy.
this. Yeah, turn it down just a hair. So we want them to be perfect. You want them to get done on the inside, so don't cook them too hot. All right. Or they're not going to get done on the inside. Let me get me a little slug spoon right here. That's what I need. One of the first ones we put in, I believe, is this one. And you can kind of tell that that one's already done almost all the way through by the way it looks on the top. See how this is really white it's still got a while to go, but the ones that have been in here longer don't look like that on the top.
They look like pancakes when pancakes are ready to flip, don't they?
Oh, well, not quite, but a little.
Well, they get them little holes in them.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, if you want any of our Hush Puppy recipes or any fish or any of our recipes, they're on CollarValleyCooks.com. And then are you going to put this on the description, or do you usually just link it?
I'll put y'all a recipe on there for you.
Okay. Everybody always wants a recipe.
Yes. Now, some of these ain't as dark as others because I turned the heat down. You can rotate them around if you want to. That one kind of exploded on me. All right, so while that is finishing up, we'll go over here and dip our fish in this cornmeal. We pat our fish dry with paper towels. Just rinse it in water and pat it dry. What you want on it? I need some seasoning, honey bud. I already got my hands dirty now.
Let's see.
That Seafood Spectacular is right back there.
It's in here?
Yes, right there.
Seafood Spectacular. Okay. All right. We had somebody said they're a first-time fryer. What's the good advice? We have a lot of videos.
I'm going to tell them what
Yeah.
the good advice is.
Well,
Okay, because Chris was looking at that. Somebody had that same question the other day.
Yeah.
And really and truly, if you want to know the best way to fry something, put your grease in there. Always have enough grease that it's about halfway up whatever it is you're cooking. In other words, this piece of fish could have used grease about that deep. But now the Hush Puppies need a little deeper, so we got a little deeper today. Let me get those out of there, matter of fact. But what I like to tell you to do is put a test piece in. I think that's the best way. And so if you're just now learning to fry stuff, you're not going to go by temperature if you're frying it on top of the stove like this. You're going to turn it on and put you a little piece of batter in it, just like that little one right there. When it starts to float and sizzle, then your grease is ready. That's what I like to say. If it floats and sizzles, it has to float, not just sizzle, then your grease is hot enough.
And if it quits sizzling, turn it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And if it's sizzling too much, turn it down a little bit.
Oh, and if you put something cold in it, like if you take chicken out of the refrigerator and you don't let it sit out for at least an hour before you fry it, and you put it in your hot grease, it's going to cool off your grease. Those are beautiful. It's going to cool off the grease so much that sorry,
it'll drop the temperature and it'll make
Yes, thank you.
It'll make it greasy. Is what it'll do.
right.
If it fries too slow, it makes it too greasy.
Yeah.
So you want it frying nice and.
You have to regulate it no matter what you're frying, just like you just seen me do. Turn that down, as a matter of fact. Just a little bit, not a lot. That's good right there.
Okay.
Now, I don't think this seafood seasoning is hot, which is what I like the most. I don't like for it to be hot. But there's a piece that don't have nothing on it.
You can use, there's all kinds of stuff you can use on fish that's good.
But now, I don't buy fish fry, y'all, because I always have cornmeal mix. And why buy the fish fry? Cornmeal mix is nothing but flour and cornmeal. And to me, it makes delicious fish. Now, if you want fish batter that's more like tempura,
tempura,
like
yeah.
you get at Long John Silver's or Captain D's, then that's a different recipe. And I actually have a recipe that cannot be beat for that too. I'm telling you, if you'll go to where I have, let them see me for a second, baby. If y'all will go online and look up fish and chips, that fish batter is like what you get at Captain D's or somewhere like that. And I'm telling you, you will be so excited about it because it is good. Another thing that's super good that reminds me of that is our onion ring batter.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best, period. Best, period. Just like my chicken tenders, it's the best, period.
We should fry some fish in that onion ring batter sometime, shouldn't we?
Well, I
I
mean,
bet it
we
would be
could.
good.
Yeah, I'm sure it would. Sure it would. Chris is stealing.
I'm
You
already
shouldn't be doing that when you got a microphone on. That's all
right
right.
here. The food.
See, it's cornbread too. Cornbread too. All right, I'm going to make me a tea while y'all watch that fish for me. We have a fish spatula. I like for it to get nice and brown. I'm going to turn it up because I want it brown. And it's pretty much deep frying. And that's because we had fixed that oil for Hush Puppies. All right.
I wish y'all could taste these Hush Puppies.
I'll open one and let them see them.
Man, that's good.
Yeah, and it only takes a second to make them. I don't know how long we've been on here, but it don't take long to make Hush Puppies and fish. Just have it sitting out and ready. We even made slaw. So we are doing it. Doing it, doing it.
We've been on here 21 minutes.
Good supper in 21 minutes. Okay, let me get my fish spatula. This thing's wet. I'm not using it in that foil. I got another fish spatula over here. Yep. Not brown enough for me. Now, I like it brown. I'm turning it all the way up. I guess I could turn it over.
That's the trout.
What is? This one?
Yeah.
Trout's real delicate. It might fall to pieces. It's not, though, is it? If I can get that baby one out from under it. You stinker. Is that trout too?
No.
No. All right. Let's just let that be in there about 2 more minutes, then we're going to get it out. It's done. I just want it browner. All right. And then we're going to make a plate. That was easy. I don't think that Seafood Spectacular is salty. I don't think it is. So I'm going to salt this a little bit. Most of their spices don't have salt in them unless they say they do.
And we do not reuse fish grease.
No, we don't.
Any grease that we fry meat in, we dispose of.
We do not. All right. Hush Puppies, some of them are browner than others. You want 3, baby?
2's been enough. I already ate.
2.
I already ate a couple.
Okay. Some good slaw with some tomato out of the garden. Chris wanted me to make stewed slaw. Not stewed slaw, good Lord. Stewed cabbage, and I said no.
Fried chicken.
I wanted it with this tomato in it tonight. It was just what I wanted. I was like, no. I want tomato in my slaw tonight. And tomorrow we're having fried tomatoes, not fried tomato, BLTs. I've laid out the bacon. And you know, when you get a good garden tomato, now see, you can tell I only season one side. One side's light, and then one side is seasoned. That's the difference in the color. All right. Can you turn that off for me?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Don't forget your potato.
do you know which one of these is flounder?
Yep, that's flounder.
This one?
Mhm.
All right, I want flounder. And
That's flounder.
this is?
Mhm.
Can I have all the flounder? Or those two at least?
Yeah.
And then I'll give you these
Get
two.
that. Well, you can get that. Yeah, that's flounder.
I can't eat that much. I'll let you have these two. You flip back over on your pretty side.
Okay. That's flounder.
Flounder.
And
Okay.
that little bitty piece. You'll
That
try
can be for the pups or the
What the?
kitty cat.
Mm.
You got to think about our babies a little bit, Christopher Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. These little bitty taters. I get the smallest one. Chris can have this longer one. They're not big. I didn't make us a big potato. What I like to do with potatoes is put them in the microwave, and then as soon as they get done, wrap them in foil. And then to me, it makes the skin taste better. I don't know why, it just does. It just does. I don't have an explanation. Maybe I need to get the butter. Come on back over on the left. Do you want sour cream on your potato tonight?
I don't have to have it. You don't want any.
I don't think I want any since we got mayonnaise and stuff in the slaw. All right, let me put you some salt and pepper on there. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have enjoyed watching our good old supper. It looks like it's Friday, Fish Friday, but it's not. We're having fish early because he went fishing and it's fresh. And we were like, we're eating it while it's fresh. We are. So I'll get a bite and let you see how the hush puppy looks. Here, let's just do it right here under this light. I'll let you see how these hush puppies look on the inside. You want to make sure and cook them all the way through. So don't turn them up too high or they won't get done in the middle. That's another reason I don't like for them to be mixed up too early. But see how fluffy they are? And that good stuff is in there. Ooh, they're delicious. And then our fish, let me show you how pretty it is. It's not greasy. It's just delicious. See it? Just delicious. I love flounder. I wish you could catch flounder every time you went fishing. I would be in heaven. All right. And I'm going to taste my slaw since it's got that tomato in it before y'all sign off. I'll just use this right here. Because I ain't had one with a garden tomato since last year. That's not near as good as my grated slaw.
Really?
Not even close. I knew it wasn't going to be because the texture, it's just not the same texture. No, it's like pieces. They're drier. And anytime it's drier, it's not as good. Y'all have a wonderful day. And we thank you for watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like Mama did. Y'all don't try that with the slaw. Get out that old hand box grater.